Welcome back to another Warhammer Quest Lost Relics Battle Report. Today we're playing Adventure 3 Wrecking Ball. We have our mission all laid out. We'll be facing the Death Rattle alongside new villains, which will be the Ard Boys. We'll have 3 basic Ard Boys with the War Boss, which is going to be in this room right over here. The Ard Boys themselves, the boss has 7 wounds. He has 2 different actions. He can attack, and he also has his move and his wall special ability. For his attacks, he does 2 damage. His wall actually makes him command his other Ard Boys to move and attack the previous Stormcast Eternal that last activated. During his leader phase, he can do his wall ability as well as attack as well. For the Ard Boys themselves, they have 3 wounds apiece. They have an attack and they can move and attack as well. They have their choppas. For their attack damage is a 1. And Death Rattle, we already know what they do. The mat itself, we have 3 spawns right over here for Death Rattle. 1 that's going to be with the Relic. And we have our Ard Boys all set up along with 2 more Death Rattle. Our objective of the game is we have to defeat the Ard Boys as well as the boss. The Stormcast Eternals automatically win as soon as that happens. We automatically lose if the Ard Boys get to this relic and destroy it successfully. So the Stormcast Eternals have to make sure that this relic is secure. We can actually interact with it. Now, if we do, for every interact that we do, we'll move this adventure card down by 1. And if as soon as we hit 0, we'll get a treasure card. Now, there is a way to make it go down by 2 if it is an inspired interaction. And there is also just 1 treasure chest that's on the field itself. Our spawning areas will be these 2 squares. This, of course, is all blocking, so we cannot see through there. And we do have to spend at least 1 action to be able to open the door. So without further ado, let's go ahead and set up our Stormcast Eternals. Now, we do have a new character coming on, which is Regis Fullbringer, which is our sorcerer. And he will be an extra guy that we will be adding for our adventurers, because I think we're gonna need it with all these enemies that are gonna be coming at us. So here we go. Everything is all set up and ready. We have a Regis right next to Calthea, and Doraz coming right up the flank over here to try and block this area off. And hopefully we can clear this out so that we can get at least one of the Stormcasts in this section and try and block off the Ard Boys. So let's go ahead and get our initiative cards ready. Now, we do have an extra contestant, so that's going to make this a little more important to see who's going to go first. So let's go ahead and do. Looks like it's going to be Calthea going first, with Regis going next and Doraz going last. So let's go ahead and get some dice rolled and see what abilities we have. Looks like we'll have a 1 and a 2. Perfect, a good little combo going. Looks like that 3, 5, and a 6. Whoops, that one flipped. And then we have Doraz. Ugh, those are terrible rolls, but maybe we can put them to good use. So now, Regis does have Energize. So with Regis' ability, he can actually spend a die, and he can either make 1 die go up by 1 or down by 1, which is pretty neat, because then you can try and maybe get some combos off. Now, if he gets a Inspired, he can make everybody do that. If he only gets a regular, he can only choose 1 Stormcast to do that. Okay, and then he also has his Storm Fury, which on a 5 or better, which is inspired, he'll do 2 damage instead of the 1. It is a shooting action, and it is an explosion. He also has his Staff, which is a close combat attack. On a 5 or better, he can do up to 2 damage with it, or just 1 if he just does a basic attack. So let's get this game on the road. So it has to be Calthea that's going to be activating. We're going to go ahead and spend, I think we want to go ahead and do her lantern, because we don't want any reactions to anything. So we're going to go ahead and spend the 3 to do her lantern. so there's not going to be any reactions from the enemies. And then we're going to spend the 5 to go ahead and move. So she's going to run up here, 1, 2, right in here, and she can make it because I believe it's a 4. Yeah, it's actually 5 for that space. And then she's going to spend her 6, and she's going to go ahead and do her steal ability, which is a explosion all around in that 1 square, and it's going to be 2 damage apiece, and that's going to be able to take out everybody in this square. So pretty nasty. Starting off pretty good so far. Okay, so now we have Regis is going to go ahead and move. We're going to spin that 1. So he's going to move up 2. 1, 2. Because that he moved him. And he's actually going to do a combo. He's going to go ahead and do his 2 to move again. So he will move 1, 2 to get into this relic. And that means that this death rattle is going to react and he's going to strike. So that's going to do a point of damage to Regis. And now Regis is just going to attack and spend his 6, and he's going to do the crit 2 damage to from the staff, and that's going to destroy this last death rattle. Okay, so that is the end of that turn. So that now there's no line of sight to him, so there's not going to be any reactions. So now it's going to go on to Doraz. So Doraz is going to go ahead and sprint. He's going to spend 1 to sprint. So it's going to cost, he's going to be able to move 3. Whoops. So 1, 2, 3. Whoops, my bad. He has to inspire in order to sprint. So he's only going to be able to spend 1 to move 2. So 1, 2, and that's going to open up line of sight here. So that means that the Ard Boy is going to react. So he's going to move 1 up to 1 space. So now we're going to spend the 2, and he's going to move again, and he will move 1, 2. Now he is the active Stormcast Eternals, so he is no longer in his line of sight, but he does have line of sight to her. So I'm going to say that there is going to be a reaction, and we're going to go ahead and activate this Ard Boy, and he's just going to move up. So now as for his final activation, which is going to be the 2, he's going to spend that, and that's going to move this down to the 3 and get ready to hopefully get that treasure. So that is the end of the phase. So now we're going to go on to the next adventure phase. So there is no Ard Boys that are out. So that means we're just going to move each Ard Boy 1 step closer to the relic. So this Ard Boy is going to move 1. This Ard Boy is going to move 1. And he's going to move 1 here. Oops. A little tricky. And then he's going to move 1 here. Oh, whoops, my bad. I forgot that we're supposed to do his hero phase. So his hero phase is he's going to be able to see one of these guys. So he would force them to move. So actually one of these guys should move up here. And he won't be able to attack because there's nobody in his square. All right, so now this will be the adventure phase. No attacking because there's nobody in their squares, and there would be no reactions from them because it's only the Ard Boys that move during the adventure phase. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go on to the die rolls, and then we were going to go to the initiative. So we got a 6, a 5, and a 3. Not a bad start. And these are some high numbers here. Might be what we need to try and take down these orcs. 2, 4. No combos here because there's nobody with a 1. But now let's go ahead and get these flipped. Whoops, I'm destroying the field. And let's see who is going to take the initiative. We'll start with this guy here. I'm Looks like it's gonna be Calthea once again. Hey, it's gonna be the same initiative. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with Calthea, and she is gonna activate first. So here we go. Calthea is just gonna go ahead and move. She is not gonna do her Blaze of Light, but she is gonna go ahead and spend her 4. She's just gonna move up 1. So that's gonna be a reaction. The Ard Boy is just gonna move up with her. And now she's gonna go ahead and strike, and she's gonna go ahead and do her broadsword. She's gonna do the 6 to make it inspired, and she's gonna do a whopping 3 damage, and that's gonna take down this Ard Boy. Now she's just gonna have 1, actually, because she just went, she didn't do her light, so that means we're gonna have another reaction, and now this Ard Boy is gonna move in to there. Actually, you know what? Instead of moving him, we're gonna move this other Ard Boy, and he's gonna move this way, just so we can kind of get into a position to start getting in there. So now she is gonna go ahead and retreat. She's gonna move, but she's just gonna move 1. She's just gonna back up and stay right there. That's gonna cause another reaction, and now this Ard Boy is gonna hit up right into this square. So now it's Regis' turn. So now he's gonna go ahead and spend his 3, and he's gonna energize Doraz, and he's gonna have him go up to this, to a 6. We wanna get that pumped up. Okay, so now what he's gonna do is he's gonna go ahead and do a interact, and he needs a 4 better to interact. So he's gonna spend his 5, he's gonna make it inspired, so that he's gonna interact with the relic, and that's gonna bring this down to 2. So it's gonna go down to 1, and then he is gonna go ahead and do it once again. Yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and do it again, so he can get a treasure. So it's gonna bring it down to 0. And what do we get? We get a potion of speed. So they drink the potion, and they can do an inspired move. We're gonna give that to Doraz, since he's kind of our beat 'em upper. So he'll be able to move quickly and start killing some guys. So actually, that was my bad. After he did his first action, there should have been a reaction. Actually, no, there wouldn't have been, because he didn't have line of sight to him. He can't see through this, and these guys cannot see. So actually, he's fine. There would be no reactions here. Okay, so now Doraz is going to activate, and he's going to spend his 2, and he's just going to move up to here, and that will cause a reaction. Now, since he can move and attack, he's going to be able to move and strike, doing 1 point of damage to Doraz. And now Doraz is going to go ahead and spend his 6 to do a mighty 3 damage. That's going to take down this Ard Boy. As a reaction, he's going to see this. He's going to move up 1. And no other reaction. So now Doraz is going to move. He's going to go ahead and spend his 4. And he's going to move to here. Now, however, he can't move in there because this is only a 1 space limit. So he wouldn't be able to move in. He could see though, so he's going to just move up and stay right where he's at there. So now we're going to have our leader phase. So he would make him move. Unfortunately, he cannot move because there's only a space for 1 person in that square. So that means that he would not come around, because he would actually be attacking the last activated Stormcast Eternal character. So that means that nothing would happen in this situation. So actually the leader, actually no, he would not move because he forces other guys to move. Okay, so then he would be fine. So that would be the end of the leader phase. So now we're gonna go to recovery. Nothing to recover. So now we're gonna go back to the adventure phase. So now on to the adventure phase. So we're gonna spawn another Ard Boy. He is gonna be spawning, actually I think he spawned, let me take a look. I think he spawns where the boss is. Let me double check. All right, so correction, he spawns closer to the boss. So he is gonna spawn here, and then they're going to move closer to the relic. Now, because that's blocked off, I'm going to go ahead and move him this way, just so that way we'll know that they are getting closer to the relic. The boss would move as well, so he's just going to move one, and then that's going to be it for the adventure phase. So now that I remember, as soon as one of the enemies enters the Stormcast location, we should have had a destiny token. So we're going to go ahead and add one of those, because I know that there was a couple of times that they did enter when the Stormcast were there. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and get some die rolling. 2 3s and a 6. Not bad, not bad. Calthea looks like she's got 2 5s and a 4. And now we're going to have Doraz getting 2 4s, no crits. That's not good, because we need those crits in order to get that 3 damage. All right, so now let's go ahead and do initiative phase. Let's see who's going to take the first turn. Maybe this time around we can have somebody else go instead of Calthea. That would, you know, just wondering. Hey, all right, Doraz is going to go activate first, followed by Calthea, and then Regis. So starting with Doraz, he's going to spend his 2. He's going to move back. So it's going to go 1, 2. And that means that starting with the leader is actually going to go ahead and he's going to go ahead and call a wall. That's going to make him move and strike. So he's just going to move 1, but he can't strike because nobody's there. So now I'm going to spend another 4, and I'm going to move Doraz back to where he was at, and then now that's going to force him to move up as a reaction. And as soon as he moves, he's going to strike, and he's going to hit Doraz for a point. And now Doraz is going to strike back. He's going to smack him for 2 more points of damage. So that means that Doraz is going to take 1 more hit from the orc. So Calthea is going to go ahead and activate, and she's just going to go ahead and move. She's going to move down. She's going to move 1, 2. She's going to move right there. And then this orc is going to go ahead and activate. He's going to move and strike. So that's a point of damage to Calthea. And now Calthea is going to go ahead and do her broadsword, which is going to be a inspired attack, doing 3 damage. It's going to take him down. And no reactions, because there's no one that can see. And then she is going to just spend the 5, and she is just going to rest, and that's going to heal up that 1 wound that she's got. So as a reaction, these are tied together, so I'm going to say that he would be able to react, and he knows that that's blocked off, so he's going to come down here, and he's going to go after Calthea. So now we have Regis, and Regis is going to be a little gutsy here. He's going to go ahead, and he's just going to go ahead and spend a 3. He's going to go ahead and do his Storm Fury. It's not inspired, so it's not going to do the max damage. It's just going to do a point of damage. It's enough to at least take out this orc. So that's going to kill him, but that's also going to do a point of damage to Doraz. But luckily, Doraz has 1 more wound than that orc did, so he's going to be just fine. So now Regis is going to go ahead and spend a 3, and he's just going to move 1, 2. He's going to go this way, and then he's going to go ahead and do an inspired move, and he's going to move. He's going to go ahead and move 3. He's going to spend that 6. And he's going to go this way. 1, 2. I don't know if I really want to get into hand-to-hand with these guys. Sure, why not? Why not? See if we can get that chest. He's going to move to there, and that's going to make him move to get into his position right there. All right, so that's going to be the end of that phase. So now it's going to be the leader phase. There's nobody that is in his line of sight, but he can either do his wall ability or he can attack. He can't attack anybody. He can't do his wall, so the leader phase is going to be obsolete. Okay, so now it's going to go to recovery. No one to recover. So now let's go to the adventure phase. We're going to spawn another orc art boy. He's going to spawn right with the leader. He's going to be right next to him. So now they are going to move and attack. Ugh, that's not going to be good for Calthea. Okay, so we're moving him here. We're moving him here. And then they're both going to strike. So he does 2 points of damage and he does 1. So she's taking a whopping 3 damage. Ouch. She's going to need to get the heck out of dodge. All right. So now they are done. And over here, they're not going to activate because they are not art boys. So nothing going on over here on this side. So now let's go ahead and roll some dice. And then we're going to check out initiative. Not off to a good start. Calthea, you need to get... Oh, okay, that was good. That was really good. She needed that. All right, so now we've got Doraz. Doraz got a mighty 6 and 2 3s. We need him to rest. Okay, so initiative phase. Maybe it was a bad idea trying to go get that treasure chest. Maybe I should have kept Regis close. Mostly because I forgot all about the spawning. All right, hey, all right. So it's Calthea going first, Doraz, and then Regis last. All right, so Calthea's going to spend the 4. She's going to shine her lantern, keeping reactions from happening on her turn. Then she's going to go ahead and do the broadsword for 3 damage. She's going to go ahead and kill this orc once again. And now she's going to have to get out of there. So she's going to spend the 6 to do an inspired move. She's going to spend, so she has to do evade because she has to get out of there. So she's moving up 1, 2, and he doesn't react because of her lantern. So now we have Doraz, who's going to activate, and he's got to heal. So I'm going to heal twice with the 6. And then he's going to spend another to heal again. And I think he's just going to spend the last one to just move. So he will move to here with Calthea. That's going to force his reaction. He's going to move up 1. All right, Regis. So what we're going to do is we're going to spend the 1 to go ahead and energize, and we're going to turn this 4 into a 5. But he is going to take a point of damage from the reaction. And now he's going to spend the 5 to do his staff, and he's going to take down that skelly. And as a reaction, he's going to move in. So now he's just going to spend the 3, and he's going to smack that skelly for 1 point of damage. And then Skelly is going to smack him for a point of damage. So they're just trading blows there. All right, leader ability, nothing going on there. So leadership phase is over. So now it's just going to go to the adventure phase. We're going to spawn once again another art boy. He's going to spawn there. And now they're going to move in. So we're going to move 1 here, 1 here. And now since the final Stormcast that activated is actually over here, so I'm going to say they're going to go into, we're going to put 2 into Calthea. That's going to knock her out. And then we're going to go ahead and put 1 into Doraz. So that means Calthea is going to go to her wounded state. All right. So now let's go ahead and roll some dice here. And let's see if we can get out of this jam. Try and get this game won. Oh boy. Regis is not doing very good. Calthea, not much better. Oh, she did get that one. But no twos, but there's a lot of sixes here. Okay, so we're gonna start off. Oh, you're right. Almost forgot. We gotta find out who's gonna take the first turn. Now I kind of want Calthea to go first because she does have that one. If she doesn't, then I think we're kind of screwed on here. But let's find out. Nope, it's gonna be Regis going first. Calthea going last. Okay. All right, so Regis, let's go ahead and spend a die. We're gonna turn this into a 5, but he's gonna take a point of damage from the Skelly, and luckily he's actually wounded now. All right, so we're gonna flip him over. He still has his 2 and his 4, and he's just gonna go ahead and spend that 5 to do the staff. 2 damage is going to take out this last Skelly. Oh man, I almost forgot. He already had a wound on. Oh well. No, I think that was from the last one. I don't think he had hit him yet. Okay, so with his final one, he's just going to move in and get ready to hopefully open that up. All right, so this is what Doraz is going to do. He's going to spend his 6, and he is going to go ahead and do his taunt. So when he does that, he is going to force everybody to strike him, but since it is inspired, he's going to take only 1 point of damage no matter how much damage they do. So that means that the boss will only do 1 point of damage for this round. So as a reaction, one of them's going to strike him. He's going to take a point of damage. And now Doraz is going to strike down the orc. And then the boss is going to hit him again for another point of damage. And now Doraz is going to strike him down. Or not strike him down, but he's going to do 2 points of damage to him because of his 4. And then he's going to put him in his wounded state. So now Calthea is going to go, and she's just going to spend the 1 to do her light. So she's going to spend her first one. They only do 1 point of damage, so she doesn't want to do damage to Doraz. So she's going to spend 1 to do a point of damage to him. And then she's going to spend another 1 to do another point. So that'll put him at 4, leaving only 3 wounds left. So for the leadership phase, he can't do his ability, but he can attack. He's just going to attack Calthea because she was the last one to activate. So now we're going to go to our adventure phase. We're going to spawn another boss. Another art boy, right where the boss is. And you can have up to 5 characters here. So he's going to be there. And they're going to strike. So Calthea being the last one, she's going to take 3 points of damage. That's going to put her in the wounded state, so that means that she's going to go down. So with them attacking, no one to attack over here, so now it's just going to go to the Stormcast. Let's go ahead and roll some dice. Oh, nice. Of course, he rolled them a little too late. Now we got Doraz. Now that's what Doraz needs. He needs a 6. Oh my gosh, that's not good. All right. So now we're gonna take her out because we need to actually revive her. But actually, in this mission, there is not a revival point. All right. So it's gonna go with Regis. And technically, there's really nothing he can do. Oh, I'm sorry. When these guys came in, they should have had a destiny point. So actually that's gonna probably save him. So we're gonna go ahead and just spend a 5 to go ahead and open up this chest. So now let's see what kind of, we got a potion of strength. Okay, so actually I'm gonna trade here. I'm gonna give the potion of speed to Regis, and I'm gonna give this potion of strength to Doraz. Okay, so now he is just gonna go ahead and spend his 6, and he's just gonna move. Oh, that's gone. So actually he's gonna make it a inspired move. So he's gonna dash 1, 2, 3, and then he's gonna spend another one just to move. He's gonna, no, because he's just gonna move 1, 2. All right, so no reactions here because, oh, actually they're not engaged, so he would move down. He would move down here and he would strike at Regis for 1 point. Okay, so now we got Doraz, and Doraz now, since we have this, we wouldn't get another destiny point because we only limit 1. But now we're gonna go ahead and spend that 3, and we're gonna spend the destiny to make it into a 6 so that we could do 3 damage and kill this boss off. And that's gonna hopefully help him out somewhat, because that would put him at 7. And then he is just gonna go ahead and spend 1 point to go ahead and move down 1. He's gonna react, he's gonna strike Doraz. And now we're gonna go ahead and drink this potion, which gives us add 1 to the wound characteristic of our attack. So we're gonna go ahead and add it to his hammer. We're gonna strike him down with 2 points plus 1, so it's gonna be 3 damage, and that is gonna kill this orc. And that is a Stormcast victory. And there you have it, guys. The Stormcast Eternals are successful in completing Adventure 3. Now we are going on to the next mission, and we will have only the potion of speed, which Regis will have. Now we did lose Calthea in this particular mission. That just means that we're gonna have her in the next mission, but she will be in her injured side. Guys, we hope that you are enjoying the Warhammer Quest Lost Relics series. If you are, please don't forget to hit that like button down below, and feel free to comment if you see anything that I've done wrong, or even if you're enjoying seeing the game. And if you are enjoying this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that way you can continue to get our videos in your feed. We will be bringing a lot more videos in the future. And we're also hoping to bring a variety of different games so that you guys could enjoy. Other than that, guys, that's going to be it for this one. Keep rolling your favorite dice, and don't forget, always paint your walls crimson. Take care, guys.